Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to the Nest Podcast, episode 40, the big sexy Bartolo Colon episode presented by Sportszilla. I'm your host, Brandon, and joining me this week, actually, is my co host, Zach. Zach, of course, wasn't here last week. We had a special guest, and where were you?
Uh, I was at a dinner with distant relatives that I'd never met before. Nothing,
Oh, that's right.
nothing exciting.
I got your nights of the week confused because I was thinking that was the night that you went to the ball game,
Oh no,
to the Cardinals game.
yeah, two different
Okay,
stuff.
two different things.
Good to be back. I listened to that episode and
Boy,
Boy,
did it
did
get weird.
it was enjoyable though. I laughed the whole time.
Well, good.
Justin's great.
We've been podcasting a lot this week. This is our third podcast this week alone.
Yep.
Of course, we did our usual Monday night podcast review of Game of Thrones. And then we were invited on to the Bearded Ballesta podcast with Adam Ballesteros. And we talked again about Game of Thrones and all that stuff. And then we're here tonight to talk about sports. And quite a bit's been going on lately. You know, we had the whole Kentucky Derby controversy that was news for like 15 minutes and then everybody stopped caring about it.
Yeah. Interesting how that works. It seems like at least every year or every other year, the Kentucky Derby makes news somehow and then no one cares. Like, do you remember when Wes Welker like popped for ecstasy or whatever?
Yeah.
That he took at the Derby or some shit like that.
Well, and then there was, to be legitimate, there was actually that horse a few years ago that won the Triple Crown, and it was the first one that did that in, a bunch of years. So that was kind of significant to see or whatever. But yeah, you're right. It seems to pop up once a year when it's time for it, and it's like, oh, a big deal. To me, it's kind of like the Masters in golf or Wimbledon or whatever. Like nobody gives a fuck most of the year, but then it pops up. I would say a lot of people probably would say that's like the World Series and stuff like that too, but we look forward to that.
Right. It's also like soccer. Like when the World Cup is happening, soccer fans come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I mean, I get excited for the World Cup because I played soccer a little bit growing up and I like it. I understand the rules. It's just it's hard to be a diehard soccer fan.
It really is. You think baseball's boring? Man, soccer is kind of a tough watch. I like to watch it every now and then too. I'll watch like a good Premier League game or something, or a Champions League because those are really good teams. But I mean, watching just your everyday, like especially MLS or something like that, that shit's not very exciting.
No, fun sport to play, not a good watch. Yep. Just like golf, in my opinion. But my wife likes to watch golf because she sits there and like says to herself, "Ha, I'm glad I don't have to walk." Because they don't ride on the carts, they just walk to wherever their ball is, and she's just like, "Yeah, that's bullshit. Walk, go."
That is funny.
She's so lazy sometimes.
There's a lot of sports that they're fun to play, but god awful to watch. Like, yeah, basically most of them. I would say, I mean, especially if you don't want to get hurt, like MMA and boxing and stuff are way, way funner to watch. But
I don't know so much about MMA, but I know as far as jiu-jitsu goes, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to roll. Just to wrestle, see what you can do, if you can remember your techniques that you learn and apply them in real life scenarios. You did McMap or whatever whenever you were in, right?
Yeah, I did karate when I was a kid too.
Oh, okay, so you've done a little bit of martial arts. In the McMap, did you do any of the grappling, the ground fighting, or did you drop out before you got up to those levels?
I got to green belt, but it wasn't anything
very basic then.
Yeah. In fact, I did more in karate than I ever did in McMap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You learned some ground fighting in karate?
Yeah, no like submissions or anything, but we worked like how to get out of being mounted and how to control on mount and shit like that.
You learned like the 5-inch punch and stuff like that.
Yeah, how to shrimp and bridge and shit like that.
The five touch punch or whatever that Uma Thurman does in Kill Bill. But I guess going back to the unwatchable sports or sports that don't really get a lot of coverage, it definitely is the Kentucky Derby. And I know this year the controversy was that the horse, I guess, swayed into the path of another horse, didn't even obstruct the pathway of the horse that they declared the winner, from what I understand. So I don't know. Jared proposed something about it in the Sportszilla group, and that's what kind of made me take notice to it. And the only thing that I really think about from that is, he said something about is replay ruining sports, because it took them 23 minutes to figure out what to do. And, a horse race is only like what, fucking a minute, 2 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Done. So I don't know. I don't know. To be a spectator, that would be pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially because you got a lot of money riding on this shit.
Yep. And you had to wait 20 minutes or whatever to find out if you were rich or not.
Well, yeah. And especially think if you had bet on the horse that originally had won and you're like, yeah, baby, we won. It's red panty night in our house. And then less than half an hour later, they're like, actually, you lose.
Yeah.
You don't get shit.
Yep.
That would suck, but I don't know. Do you think replays ruining sports or no? That was kind of the question that I was leading up to.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yes. I like that sports can be more accurate, but that does slow everything down, and it puts a damper on the excitement. In certain sports, I think there should be a human element, and we've talked about that before. Like, I like the human element in baseball, but you can't really argue with the sport being more accurate, with something like horse racing, unless it's blatant, I'd say they just let it be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I don't even think that horse swaying in front of anybody or anything really caused any disruption. None of the horses ran into each other or whatever. I hate that sometimes reviews in other sports do take a long time. It does get a little bit annoying when you're watching a sport and it takes like 3 commercial breaks to figure out a fucking call. I think maybe they should just give whoever is in charge of making the official decision, give them 3 camera views and a minute. If they can't make a decision in that amount of time, the call on the field should stand.
I like that.
Move on with the fucking game.
Yeah, I like that. Every football season, my wife always complains about that. Like, how is this the most? This is her talking. How is football the most popular sport? Because it takes 4 hours for a freaking game to go on, and the action lasts all of 10 seconds, and then it's just set up, and then there's a penalty, and then there's an injury, and she kind of has a point.
Yeah, I mean, football is a series of plays every 40 seconds or so. And you watch not only the play, but you watch all of the downtime. It's the same thing with like baseball, though, because the pitcher has a pitch clock now and he throws the ball, and that's, that play.
Yeah. I think there is a lot less like stoppage time.
Right. Because they don't pause the clock for penalties and stuff like that. But
yeah. And you're not going into a baseball game thinking, all right, we've got a 15-minute quarter. It's baseball is just, we're playing baseball, Yep.
27 outs.
Yeah. Which I think helps people not worry about the length of it.
Yeah, no, I never think about like how long it is that I'm at a ball game or whatever. And you just went to a ball game, and did you enjoy the atmosphere or the setting? This is your second or third time at Busch?
Second.
Second
or third. So yeah, no, it's my third. But the second time was that time I was telling you about where it was hot as a motherfucker and we left. So that was terrible. I'm not going to count that. We barely even sat in our seats because they were like top row, top of the highest thing in the sun. So we were just like, nah. But to get back on track, yeah, it was awesome. This time we sat in like the second level, not like the closest level, but the one above that,
Okay.
behind third. Yeah, it was close enough to where you didn't have to like squint to see the players or whatever. Basically, pretty much everyone around us was cool. There wasn't like any drunk assholes or whatever. And it was fun. Yeah, if you're a baseball fan, of course you enjoy going to that stuff. But yeah, there's an atmosphere, like you were saying, when you're at the event, and this is for basically any sport. When you're there, it's a way different thing, especially the sports people call boring. When you're there, you can like sense that it's, I don't know, it's more impactful, you know?
Yeah, well, and they do a really good job of having things going on when there otherwise would be like downtime or whatever, you know? And when you're in a crowd, you know, it might be boring in the game. It might be you know, what people call a boring game, a 1-0 game where it's just a pitcher's duel, but you'll see people doing the wave. And that's fun for the people that get bored, but the people that really enjoy the game, they're loving a 1-0 baseball game.
Yeah. We sat next to an older guy who had like a headset connected to a radio in, and I told my wife, like, he's listening to the broadcast. That's how into this shit he is.
I could see myself doing that. Like if I were to go to a game alone and no one around me was like really talking or being cool or whatever, I'd probably pull up the MLB TV on my phone and listen to the broadcast in an earbud or something.
Yeah. I really enjoy listening to the broadcast. Because when you're at the game, you don't know anything. You obviously are watching, but like they're not giving you any kind of like commentary as you would have on TV. So it's nice to have like the color commentary so they can talk about, you know, this hitter's done this and that and the other.
Right. So, and, you know, it also helps. You said that you didn't have to squint, but he was an older man. He might not have the best of eyes anyway. Right. It helps him know who's at the plate.
Yep. That makes sense.
Lets him know what the count is so that he doesn't have to look around the stadium to find the scoreboard and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I did notice, like, obviously when you're watching TV, you have all the stats there immediately, you know, pitch count and everything like that. And I had to like search for the pitch count. I was like, what's this pitcher up to? And I had to look around, and they show it every now and then on one of the like boards or whatever, but it's not like TV where you can just automatically know what's going on.
Oh, that's weird. They should have it permanently displayed somewhere.
Yeah, you would think.
They do in Tampa because my wife actually keeps an eye on the pitch count a lot better than I do. Like she'll mention it all the time. She'll be like, "Ooh, he's already up to 25 pitches. It's the first inning."
All right.
I'll be like, "Dang, yeah, you're right. Shit, he's thrown a lot," you know. Yeah. But she's pretty observant with all the stats and stuff that are on the TV screen. Yep. I usually don't start checking pitch counts until it gets to be about the fifth, and then I'm like, "Ooh, you're already in the 90s. This is your last inning, bud."
Yeah. It wasn't something that I was looking forward to, but I did get to see a Bryce Harper grand slam.
Yeah, you text me about that. That was funny. You're like, well, I can check a Bryce Harper home run off of my bucket list. Yeah. And it was a grand slam. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. Fuck.
Yep. Bases were loaded. He came up to the plate, and I told my wife, I was like, he's gonna knock one out.
Wow, that's crazy.
And fucking A, did he? The place made a weird noise. I couldn't tell if it was like a boo or like a cheer. It was the weirdest noise ever.
The Phillies travel pretty well, so it was probably a mixture. Yeah. It was probably Cardinal fans booing and Phillies fans cheering.
Right.
It's like the Red Sox. We like when we're in Tampa, you can hear "Let's go Red Sox" chants. Like sections of people that are just Red Sox fans in Tampa. You know, it's weird. Funny. But I think I told you, like, I sat behind White Sox fans. They were just in town for the game, and it was like, wow, okay. Mm-hmm. You just really like baseball. They were cool people, though.
There were Cubs fans at this game, and they were, like, decked out in Cubs gear. But it is kind of common for Chicago people to live in St. Louis because it's not very far.
Sure.
So you see a lot of Cubs, Blackhawks, Bears fans. So I did think that was interesting, and they must just be baseball fans.
Yeah, for sure. But you mentioned that Bryce Grand Slam. I wish that was the last runs that you had to witness that night, but
it was rough.
Yeah, you were on the wrong end of a blowout.
Yep. It got up to 11-1 and it was like 9:00 and we bounced along with like 90% of the whole.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ballpark.
I'm sure. The only people that stayed were Phillies fans.
Yeah.
Because they were having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
They all moved down a little closer and yep. Their $45 seats became $115 seats real quick.
But we've managed to tune up the Pirates here on this series.
Yeah, I saw that you guys beat them down. Man, Christian Yelich though. That dude, I think he's up to 16 bombs now for the Brewers, and he's gonna set the pace for that NL Central. So you guys are gonna have to chase them down. I don't think you'll have much to worry about with the Pirates.
Yeah, no kidding. Can we just walk Christian Yelich for the rest of the year? Would that be a bitch move?
Yes and yes.
He's on pace for something crazy.
No, he's doing some crazy shit. But I mean, you did mention kind of that who'd you see the Phillies? They swept you, right? Mm-hmm. Or was it the Cubs that swept you?
The Cubs swept us in
right.
Chicago.
That's right.
The Phillies won the series 2-1. We beat them once the first game.
So, but out of those 6 games, you only won 1. That's not a good week of baseball for your guys. I don't know. It's salvageable though. It's a long season. The Red Sox started off piss poor, but they've scratched their way back to 500. I told you earlier in a text that it was kind of funny. Both of our teams were a third place team right now, but I feel a little more optimistic about mine than you do yours because you were in first and we were in dead last. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of funny that we met in the middle, and we'll see where the rest of the season goes from here.
Yeah.
Speaking of like the Red Sox climbing and getting out of the basement, they've played some pretty good baseball lately, man.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but they found their groove once you saw them in Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take credit for it. Fuck it. It was us. We saw them in Tampa, and let's see.
There's no one here to say otherwise.
Absolutely. I wonder what their record has been since we saw them in Tampa. I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, they can't have lost more than 4 or 5 games since then.
Well, they got swept by the Rays after that, so that sucked. But I don't know. I would have to look and do all the math on it.
They've been doing well.
They've been doing a lot better. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
JD Martinez hit career homer number 200. I believe they said that he was like the 6th or 7th fastest to that number.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. He's on pace to do well for his career. I hope we don't lose him. That would suck.
Yeah. But they're going to have to pick, I think, though, between Mookie and him.
Yeah, I think I've told you that before, that I think that they're only going to get to keep one.
Yeah.
And Mookie already kind of seems like he wants to test the waters and get the biggest paycheck. So
he could do it.
Yeah, he's worthy of $400 million if Mike Trout is.
Honestly, I would rather give Mookie my money if I was going to do something like that. Mike Trout's great, but I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, it's just because you get lost when you're on the West Coast of baseball.
Yeah.
Like, how much have you heard about Manny Machado this year?
Not a whole lot.
I bet he's having a
killing it.
Season. I bet he's having a good season. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much either, but it's because now he's playing on the West Coast. You don't hear about him.
That's true.
I bet Mike Trout's having a phenomenal year and no one's even talking about it. Here we go. Let's see. Angels. Let's look up there. Mike Trout. See what he's got going on this season.
Michael Trout.
He's batting .284 with 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. He's got over 1,000 OPS. I'd say he's doing all right.
Yeah. And of course, you can't, just because you pay a guy a whole shit ton doesn't mean that he's going to just be on fire 24/7.
No, they're not. But they do perform. These guys that are getting these big paydays, they do perform whether we hear about it or not. I'm looking up Manny Machado now. His average has slipped a little bit from what he's normally at, about 50 points. He's at a 237 average, but he's got 8 homers. That's what they brought him there to do, is to hit bombs. So
yeah, and he's got a really good glove.
He is an outstanding defensive shortstop. So
yep. I don't know.
But I think he's playing third out there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think so. Now that I think about it.
Do they have someone else better at short? It's kind of weird.
Tatis Jr. is their normal third baseman, I think. He's a rookie sensation. But it looks like tonight Manny Machado's in the lineup as shortstop, but Tatis is not in the lineup. So maybe it's his off night.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his past success, but something kind of tells me that Mookie will have the more desirable career in the end. I think, I don't know. For some reason, Mike's decision to stick around at Anaheim, which is now, I guess, just LA, is not going to be good. I don't know why, but that organization hasn't done that great since when did they win the last World Series? 15 years ago or something crazy?
I don't even remember. It's been a while since they even made the playoffs.
Yeah. They made that terrible deal with Pujols late in his career. I don't know.
We got some Pujols stuff to talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's just a thought that I've had for a while, that looking at the two players, you might say that Mike Trout's better, but I think in the end, Mookie will have the better career.
Well, Mookie's definitely been able to shine on the bigger stages, and Trout has not. Trout's not been one of those playoff bound guys ever, really. I think he's made 2 or 3 playoffs in his whole career, and they were bumped pretty early from the playoffs. So he didn't ever make it to a World Series or anything, but he shined everywhere else in his game. So, I mean, you would think if he had a team around him that you could. That's why I was kind of perplexed that he decided to stay out there and all that, because he could have literally went to anybody who would open their checkbook. And if like the Yankees or the Nationals or anybody like that would have wanted him, he could have jumped right into a winning ball club.
Yeah.
And made them a million times better.
Yeah, basically the only way he's going to make it is if they build a team around him. You know, that they have to build around him now, instead of, like you said, he comes to an already performing team.
And maybe that's what he's thinking with Shohei, that, you know, like, okay, well, we got Shohei. He's a young guy. He's really good. Maybe we got a couple guys in our farm system coming up that are young guys that are going to be really good. You know, we'll get out from the weight of Pujols. We'll bring in another, you know, solid all-star from somewhere else in free agency, and then we'll be cooking. I mean, maybe that's his thought. Maybe they kind of filled him in on the plan long-term, and he bought in, but I don't know. It was a kind of strange move back when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you think is going to be the next baseball player to have a big-ass contract?
Well, probably Mookie.
You think so? What about Francisco Lindor?
I don't know when his free agency is.
Gotta be coming up soon.
If it's next year, he'll get a big contract. I don't know if he gets Machado and Harper numbers.
No, but he'll get a big deal. It sucks for Indians fans, because they had a great team there, and I don't think it's going to happen again, at least with this crew.
No, they are almost on the end, especially with Kluber's arm getting shattered recently.
He got hit by a line drive, right?
Yeah, it was like 110 miles per hour off the bat or something crazy, and it came back and hit him right in the forearm, and it just shattered that motherfucker.
He is not ever going to be the same. He was already kind of falling off, and an injury like that, He's not done. I think we've talked about it. He's not done, but that he's never going to be the same Kluber that we all know.
He won't be Klubot. He'll be a human again.
There for a while, man, he was like, it was insane. I remember his mannerisms after a strikeout. No look on his face. He would just adjust his shirt like he always did. You remember that?
Yep. Yeah, he was a robot.
Just kept on. That's insane.
Yep. Very mechanical in nature. But we mentioned Albert earlier, Albert Pujols. He had something significant happen to him, and we would be retarded to forget it because there's only been 3 guys in Major League history that have ever done it. So it's pretty significant. He joined the 2000 RBI club.
It's crazy.
You've got to be around and be a good hitter to hit 2000 RBIs. The 2 that have done it, Hank Aaron and A-Rod.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Remember last episode, Justin stumped you with some A-Rod knowledge.
He sure did. I had to do my homework this week to make sure that I was, covering all my my P's and Q's. And like A-Rod's 3,000th hit that was a home run, Pujols' 2,000th RBI was also a home run. Our listeners remember Justin told a story about a guy that caught the ball and played hardball with giving it back.
Yeah. Well,
the same exact thing is happening, except it's a different guy. And this guy's not giving it back. What do you make of that? Do you think that that ball's rightful place is in the MLB Hall of Fame? Do you think it's at Albert Pujols' house up on his mantle? Or do you think the fan that caught it should keep it?
That's such a hard thing to dissect, because as a fan, it's awesome just to get a ball from a game, let alone a home run or someone's important ball. At the same time, that's the player's, attribute that he has worked so hard to gain.
That's a trophy. Call it what it is. That's his trophy. That's the 2000th RBI. If it would have been a base hit that drove in a run, he would have had it.
Yep.
Because they would have tossed it into the dugout and he would have had it.
Yep. Fans have done this shit before, where like you hold on to it and then the team will come out and say, hey, we'll give you free tickets. We'll give you this. We'll give you a signed something. And then most people eventually give it up. This is a huge one. And this, I don't know what this guy's plan is with this. He could make a lot of money off of this, but I kind of expect the team or the league or someone to give him a deal that he can't refuse.
Well, funny you should say that. The team, the Angels, they offered him 4 separate deals that got better and better. Like, I can't remember all what it was, but the first one was like a bat signed by Albert. The next level up was the bat and a jersey or something like that signed by Albert. And, it just kept going up and up and up. And then finally, after he wouldn't take the 4th deal, the representative was like, if I walk away, we're done here. And if MLB can't authenticate that baseball, then it's worthless.
Interesting.
Because it's not stamped. It's a special stamp or anything on it.
It's just his word that's the 2000 hit or RBI.
See, like the reason that the guy that caught Mark McGwire's home run ball that was so valuable, the reason he was able to cash in on that is because they put a little chip inside of the baseball for Mark McGwire to be able to track it, because they knew that was going to be a history home run.
Yeah.
I think they probably did the same thing with Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that would make sense. Interesting.
Did you know, do you remember friggin' what was his name? Castellanos from the Marine Corps?
Yes.
He was at the Barry Bonds game that he broke that record.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, that is fucking crazy, dude. He's like, yeah, we went there like hoping that he was going to hit it that day. He's like, we bought our tickets like 3 months in advance and it just happened to align. And I was like, God damn, that's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Lucky
crazy.
Bitch.
Yep.
But yeah, this guy's not giving it back. And I guess Albert said he's cool with it. He's like, well, that's fine. That's his trophy to keep because he's a fan. He came to the game and he caught the ball. That's his victory is getting to take that home. And I
Right.
thought that was an interesting take from Albert. I thought that he might have more like, no, that deserves to be, in the Hall of Fame or at my house or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, he still has the record or whatever you want to call it.
He just
It's not
doesn't
like-
have the baseball.
Yeah, he still did it. you
Yeah.
know? I bet you he doesn't have his 1,999th.
Yeah, probably not.
So-
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, he's like, it's on my Wikipedia page. It's good enough.
Yeah, Google it. It'll show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's
though.
he's got his actual World Series championship stuff and all that stuff. So it's not like he doesn't have anything. I think if I were a player, of course I would love to have it, and if the fan wanted a signed whatever, that'd be cool. But I think I'd be like Albert. Like if you really want to keep it that much, then fucking have it.
Yeah, I told my wife that if I caught Michael Chavis's first home run, that I would just want a Michael Chavis autographed baseball in return.
I would take that for sure.
Not that baseball. Obviously, I would trade it for
Yeah.
just a different one, a brand new one out of the box is fine with me. But
Yeah.
I was like, that would be cool. That's all I really need.
I'd say that's a fair trade.
I agree. I always would love to catch an important baseball because that's all I would want in return from anyone.
Yeah.
Even if it was this one, the 2000th home run, I'd be like, just let me get an autographed ball, Albert.
Yep.
Let me shake your hand and tell you congratulations. That's all I care about.
Yep. That would be cool.
I met Pete Rose one time and he was a douche.
I can see that.
He was such a dick, man. Like, he wouldn't let you take a photo with him. He said if we wanted photos that he had 8x10s for sale.
One of those guys.
Yeah, I was like, dude, really? You're a fucking ass. I was
Not like
"No,
he's
thanks."
hurting for money.
He's like, if you want me to sign a bat, it's this much money. If you want me to sign a ball, it's this much money. It's like, dude, get over yourself. I know you're not in the Hall of Fame, but you still got money.
All right. Where did you see him?
In Las Vegas. He was just in Mandalay Bay,
Nice. Just chilling.
just hanging out.
I don't think I've ever seen a sports person in real life other than like at a game.
Right. No, that's cool. I saw him. I saw Jake the Snake Roberts, the
Nice.
wrestler. I saw
Uh-huh.
him at the airport in Atlanta.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw the comedian Carrot Top at an airport one time.
That's so funny.
I saw Chuck Norris getting into a helicopter with my mom.
Damn. I saw Prince Harry in Afghanistan.
Oh, look at you getting
Yeah.
all royal on my ass.
We didn't get like to meet him or anything.
They just had a baby, Harry and Meghan. What is her
Markle?
last? Markle?
Markle. Yep.
Markle.
She's on a show called, she was on a show called Suits. My wife watches it. It's about lawyers. It's all right.
Cool.
Yeah, that she used to be on that and then decided to cash in on fucking being royalty.
Yep, and now they got that anchor baby, so she's good for life. Good for her.
Yeah.
Anyway,
mean-
let's get back to something that we actually know something about. I don't know shit about the Royals.
What you got?
No, I don't know. We were talking a little bit before we came on about that pitcher from Oakland.
Yes.
You were rambling on and on and on about him, and I was like, dude, save it for the episode. So now's your time to ramble about that guy. What is it, Mike Fears?
I don't have shit to say. No, I'm just kidding.
Go
yeah,
figure.
Mike Fears, Fiers. He's
Fears,
pitcher
Fires,
something.
something.
He's a pitcher for the Oakland Athletics. And he hit a no-hitter a couple days ago, 2-3
He-
days ago.
He hit a no hitter. Good for him.
He hit one. He pitched a no-hitter. My bad. And it was his second of his career, which is pretty cool. I mean, just to get one is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is what you were saying about he's not the type of guy that you would expect to throw a no hitter, much less two.
No.
because going into that game that he threw a no, his ERA was over 6. He's notorious for giving up the long bomb, and somehow, some way, he was just able to be elusive all
Yeah.
night. It
Yeah,
took him over 130 pitches to throw that thing.
Man, I can't believe I guess if you're going for a no hitter and you look like you're gonna do it, then they'll just let you keep pitching. But god damn, that's a lot.
That is a lot. Sale pitched into the 8th inning the other night, and he threw like 106, and that was quite a bit for him.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy Mike Fears is not a well-known pitcher. He's like you said, he doesn't have a great ERA. He doesn't make the headlines unless he gets a no-hitter. Interesting. I was saying that this is a kind of a shitty analogy, but it's the best I could come up with. Pitching is kind of like golf, where sometimes randomly an unknown player will win a tournament and win, a weekend at, the players tournament or whatever it might be.
You trying to say that Tiger Woods' win wasn't legit, that it was just a random occurrence?
Oh, it was 100% legit. They're all legit. It's just sometimes some random ass player we've never heard of makes it. And I think that's what this kind of is. Like, just for whatever reason, he was on that night and everything was working. He woke up on the right side of the bed, whatever it might have been, and he just did it. So,
like Dallas Braden, also for the A's back in the day, threw a perfect game. And like when they asked him after the game how he felt, he's like, I feel like I have no business being here right now. He's like, I'm not the type of pitcher that you would ever expect to throw a perfect game, but here we fucking are.
Yep.
I think he does the commentary for the A's now. He's one of their color guys.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a funny guy though.
Yeah, that is funny.
He had a good attitude about it. He's like, I shouldn't be here, guys.
It's a fluke.
I'm not good enough to do this. I thought that was good.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, I did want to bring up that we normally try to stay away from politics and things like that on our show here, but I did want to bring up that the Red Sox went to the White House this week. Did you see anything of that?
I saw the little article you sent me.
Oh, about the misspelling of Sox. That's just dumb. A simple Google of Red Sox would have taught you that, but they also sent out a tweet that said, "Congratulations to the World Cup Series champion Boston Red Sox."
Some intern needs to lose their fucking job.
Yeah, that's all that is. But at the same time, like my wife said, they're probably more like in tune with things going on in Russia, North Korea, China. They're probably more worried about the trade deficits and stuff like that.
You would hope. Yeah,
hopefully.
You would hope.
It's not like I'm an intern and it's like, hey, yeah, that stuff's whatever that is. Baseball's on, guys.
Come on, Mookie's coming.
But I did see that Trump had like a speech that you could obviously tell that he was reading the whole time, and he would just throw in little Trumpisms here and there, like little tidbits. It wasn't bad. For whatever it was, he stayed on script. He didn't try to politicize. He realized that it was they were there to celebrate their accomplishments, and it wasn't about him. I'm glad they didn't give him a 45 jersey. They gave him an 18 jersey. I guess because they won an 18. Yeah. But 45 was Pedro's number, and it's retired. So
yeah, can't have that.
can't have that. Can't have him wearing Pedro's number.
That's funny. Did they have a good spread of like Popeyes or maybe some Jack in the Box or something?
I didn't see what it was. I heard that it was supposed to be a fancy meal though, like filet mignon and stuff. He also, Trump said something funny. He's like, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to take him to see the Lincoln bedroom as long as the media promises not to beat me up too much about it. But I guess he made a big deal about the Lincoln bedroom to the guys.
Is it Lincoln's bedroom or something?
I guess. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't really get it, but maybe it is Lincoln's bedroom and it's a significant place in the White House for some reason. I don't know. If anybody knows, let us know because we don't know shit about the White House apparently.
That's funny. A lot of teams are not going because they don't agree with Trump.
Yeah,
I
well,
like Golden State didn't go.
the Red Sox made it optional for the players if they wanted to go or not, and several did, several didn't.
Alex Cora didn't, right?
Right. He didn't. Mookie didn't. JBJ didn't. David Price didn't. But JD Martinez, Chris Sale, Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Benintendi, all those guys were there. So a lot of the star players were still there. It's not like they sent the B squad.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think especially in today's polarizing times politically, I'm totally cool with a team just saying go if you want to, don't if you don't. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I approve that as well. That way it makes the media not be able to latch onto anything as much. Yeah,
Exactly.
that they're going after these individual players and stuff that decided not to go, but they can just be like, look, it was my decision. I didn't want to go. Get over it.
People will get over that pretty quickly, especially with the news cycle the way it is. Like tomorrow, something will pop off and no one will care.
Right. They'll forget about it, just like the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. I would, if I were a player, I don't think I would care who would be in office. I would want the chance to go to the White House because when's the next time you're going to get, not only going to get to go to the White House, but to be invited to come to the White House. You know?
Right. Right. Like I said, I watched it and a lot of the players, that's what they were saying too. It's like, I don't care who's the president. Like if I'm invited to the White House, that's an honor to me,
Yeah.
Like, and the way that I put it is the same thing that we say like in the Marine Corps. Like if you have a shitty staff sergeant or something like that, it's like, hey, respect the rank, not the man.
Yep.
He's still a staff sergeant, whether you like him or not.
Right.
Trump is still the president, whether you like him or not.
Yeah, and you're not going there just to like sit and talk with him. There's tons of other shit that the White House is relevant for. All the history and everything.
Right. And you're going to get free food, even if it's only Popeyes or whatever it was, Burger King.
If they had a Popeyes spread, I would be no happier than had they had ribeyes.
What if they didn't have the blackened ranch?
I'd still be okay.
Okay.
Popeye's chicken is the shiznit.
For those listeners that don't know, Zach recently discovered the blackened ranch from Popeyes, and it blew his mind.
I don't remember you mentioning it to me. So when I ate it, I thought I had discovered this amazingness.
I may not have mentioned it to you, but when I would eat Popeyes at the shop back in the day, it was always with the blackened ranch.
Man, that shit is good.
Yes, sir. It is good. I enjoy it quite a bit. What MMA stuff do we have coming up?
Well, this Saturday is UFC 237. Main card is going to be Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade for the strawweight championship belt. This is going to be, I know this sounds like a promo, but this is going to be Rose's first fight for the belt, not against Joanna. So that'll be very interesting.
That's right, because she defended against her after she won it.
Yeah, Joanna got the immediate rematch and did not do anything with it.
Yeah, that girl just looks like she's so kind and sweet and innocent, but she's actually kind of a badass fighter.
Rose or
yeah, Rose.
Yeah. She looks like a run-of-the-mill girl apart from her shaved head, but yeah, she doesn't look like average.
Intimidating at all.
Yeah. Cyborg looks intimidating. Amanda Nunes looks very intimidating, but you're right, she doesn't look intimidating at all, but she beat the brakes off of motherfuckers apparently.
Good for her.
It is in Brazil. I don't know what city. But yeah, and
just country advantage.
Yeah, and Brazilians, god damn, do they love themselves some mixed martial arts.
Yeah, they've already got one female champ that's Brazilian.
Yep.
I almost said 2, but then I can't call Cyborg a champ.
No, you can't. I mean, she is a former champ for
She's a
sure.
former champ. They have a lot of former champs, but
Yeah.
currently Amanda, she's holding it all down.
Yeah. And I think as they do for a Brazilian card, they stacked it with Brazilians.
Sure, they do. They do that every time. It's just like when they're fighting in Abu Dhabi, they've got all the Russian fighters on there.
Yeah. Jose Aldo's fighting. Anderson Silva's fighting.
Okay. Are they fighting legit fights or are they scrubs?
The dudes that they're fighting, I've never heard of. And I'm sure that our friends at Locker Room Talk know way more about them than we do.
Yeah, Wallow's probably like, "What? You say they're scrubs? That guy beat so and so, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
He knows fighters' histories just like that. It's like, dude, wow.
Yeah.
That's an impressive bit of knowledge, sir.
Right. I don't expect many people to be, all super excited about this. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Rose does against someone else. Rose is only 8-3.
Really? So she's pretty inexperienced as a fighter.
Yeah, Jessica is 19-6.
Wow. Okay, so she's been in the cage a few more times.
Yeah.
Is that UFC or is that MMA?
I don't know. That's just the record on the card.
Okay,
that they show for the fighter on the card.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I think that has to play a part. That and she's in her home country with fucking insane fans that are going to be cheering her on.
Sure. I mean, that's got to be crazy, huh? Oh, at least it sounds like an actual UFC card and not a WWE event like a lot of theirs have become.
Yeah, I don't think you can pull that shit over on Brazilians. They want actual fighters that are good.
Right. Like last week, Justin and I talked about the Greg Hardy deal and how it was kind of, I feel like they're kind of booking him to be a WWE heel.
Yeah.
Like they want people to boo him and all that shit. And then now you've got the Conor and Habib Twitter war and all that shit. It's WWE. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think at this point, they're really looking for fighters who can either have a following behind them or create drama.
Is Johnny Walker on this card?
No, not that I can see.
I bet he's still nursing that injury then.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Because they would have him on here if he was healthy because he's Brazilian and he's exciting.
I would love to see him fight again relatively soon. That dude, that's crazy.
Sky's the limit if he doesn't hurt himself and injure himself and ruin his own career.
Yeah. I guess he's young and crazy. So
yeah,
whatever. Ask John Jones how that goes.
Oh, I hope he's not that reckless with life. Right. John Jones made some serious mistakes, but he's still the best.
In my book.
I mean, it doesn't take away what he does once the door closes of the octagon. And
right. I'm very excited to see Stipe and DC. I
like that. Brock Lesnar's retirement was overshadowed by like, okay, you're gone. That just means it's DC and Stipe.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, bye.
We're all kind of relieved, to be honest. At least I am.
Yeah. I don't ever really get that hyped for Brock Lesnar fights.
They were fun 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing now. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It was a spectacle at UFC 200 and it would have been a spectacle versus DC.
And for me, now knowing what we know about UFC 200, where he was juiced, or at least he wasn't tested. So that's fucked up, especially to do that to, what's his name?
Mark Hunt.
Yeah. Do you know he sued the UFC and did all kinds of craziness about that?
Yeah, he sure did.
And I think he's retired now.
He needs to be if he's not. He's old. He's made his money. He's taken a lot of beatings.
Yeah.
So I hope he's doing well for himself though.
I don't think, not that he needs any, but I don't think Brock Lesnar made any fans by doing this because most people are pissed off because he basically held the division up for however long and then
Right.
just fucking retired.
How long's it been since DC had a fight?
Probably close to a year.
Has he been injured? Is that why?
No, I think he's been waiting for Brock. He wants a money fight.
See, but that's another thing that pisses me off. Dana would strip anybody else that waited that long. Like Habib has to fight an interim champion, and he's only been out since what, October?
Doesn't make sense.
Fuck. I don't. That's Dana's boy though.
I thought Khabib didn't want to fight.
Well, he was suspended.
Right, but didn't he say he doesn't want to fight or something? Or was that just BS?
I have no clue. I'm pretty sure they've already booked his next fight though.
I could have sworn Khabib said that, like, I've fought Conor, I made my money, I've been doing this long, I don't want to fight anymore. But anyway, he'll come around for the right price, especially if it's against Conor.
Let's see. Bleacher Report came out 3 days ago that he plans 3 fights.
He won't fight in Vegas or some shit now, right? Because his team's suspended or whatever.
Yeah, probably. That sounds legit.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get back to it.
It's fine. Either way, a fight with him and anyone is not coming soon.
Well, I know he's wanted a George St. Pierre fight, but he's not going to get that.
No, I think George is actually done this time.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think the UFC wants to risk him winning another championship and then retiring immediately after.
Yeah. Took the fucking belt from Michael Bisping and was like, cool, that was fun. I'm done.
Yep. Fucking A, man.
Crazy. And you and I, of course, say that John is great, but man, for George to do that, it really puts numbers for him up to get pound for pound.
I always liked George better than I liked Matt Hughes back in the day. And I know they went back and forth a lot. They were kind of rivals.
Yeah.
But I really like George. I thought some of his fights back then were just amazing.
George is amazing. Yeah. What's crazy to think about is how big he is. He has fought at 155.
Yeah.
That's what?
Let's see. Wasn't it Matt Serra that beat him with a spinning back fist?
That sounds about right.
For a title at one point, and then he got his rematch and beat the brakes off of him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it was Matt Serra, and Matt Serra got beat by Shoney Carter with a spinning back fist.
That's funny.
Man, I was heavily into MMA back in those days.
Yeah.
Like I had tapes, well, I guess DVDs, and I would watch the DVDs. I would watch UFC every time it was on TV, at UFC Unleashed, UFC Fight Night. I would get the pay-per-views. I was all about it. Now, today, I'm not as rabid about it as I was.
It's kind of hard to be.
It really is. They gave too much birthday cake.
Yep. That's a very good analogy that you've come up with. I don't know, like, and especially for like the two biggest recent superstars being Conor and Ronda. Once Ronda had some actual competition, we found out, you're not that great. And then once Conor fought a fucking wrestler, it was over. So it's not like they were that great to begin with. So the aspect of these superstars that run the whole fucking thing and just millions of pay-per-views and you got to tune into every single fight really loses its weight once they get beat so easily by just people that have different skill sets than they have. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, not to take anything at all away from Holly Holm or Nate Diaz, but they didn't even lose to big superstars that were
100%.
Nate and Holly are both great. They're both world class in their own rights, but that's not who anyone expected. Like, you expected a Ronda Cyborg fight to be what it took to beat Ronda.
Exactly.
Or to beat Cyborg.
Exactly.
You expected, Jose Aldo and Conor to be a hell of a fight. You would obviously expect Conor and Khabib to be a hell of a fight. But you kind of thought that Conor would wipe the floor with Diaz. A lot of people did. They didn't give Diaz a lot of credit, but God damn it, did he fight?
Yeah, I mean, Nate Diaz showed us that basically all you have to do to beat Conor is don't let him hit you on the chin and choke his ass out.
Yep.
That's obviously way easier said than done, but
Sure.
if you can do those things, then there's your map to beating Conor. It's not that hard. No, if you're talented enough to pull all that shit off.
Yeah, and Conor now, who knows what he's going to face with all this legal shit that he's gotten himself into since his last fight with the smashing of the phone and the shit in Ireland or whatever that he's being accused of. Like, he's got a lot on his plate.
Yep.
I wouldn't be worried about the fight game. I guess so. Sure. I guess he's good buddies with Sylvester Stallone, and Sly said that he would sell him or give him some of his UFC shares to get him back in there and fight again. So maybe that'll motivate him to get back in.
Man, I tell you, if Conor doesn't take this Cowboy fight, he is a fucking idiot.
Cowboy just recently fought Al Iaquinta, right?
Yeah.
And he beat him.
Decision, I believe.
Yeah. We mentioned locker room talk earlier. They had a bet for that fight. So I think that means Wallow owes Chris money. $5 or their standard bet, they said.
Wallow was Team Iaquinta.
Yeah, he was. I think that's how I remember it.
I mean,
but it's a fun, friendly bet, no big deal.
Yeah. I think if a guy like Al Iaquinta can go 5 rounds with Khabib, then you got to give him a chance. I mean,
it was Wallow because he said that exact same thing.
Yeah. I mean, Conor couldn't go 5 rounds with Khabib. Who's the last guy that went 5 rounds with Khabib? So fuck. That's awesome. I didn't watch it. Of course, I don't think I'm going to pay ESPN Plus money just to watch fucking fights. I will probably have to pony up for one of these big pay-per-view cards, but just for something like that, I'm not into it. But happy for Cowboy. He's great. For whatever reason, he just somehow has never. Well, I shouldn't say never, but they just won't give him a fucking title shot.
No, they need to. He deserves it. I think he's getting one now. I think he's finally.
It's been so fucking long.
Finally earned it. What's his record? Can you pull him up real quick? I know he's got a million fucking fights under his belt.
Yeah, I think he's like 917 or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Cowboy, 957 and 412 is his record.
Yeah. 31 7 and 1 no contest.
Damn. So out of 39 fights, he's only lost 7 of them. That's pretty good. Pretty good percentage. Good job, Cowboy. I like him a lot.
For whatever reason, his record on the UFC website is 35 and 11. So, whatever. Those aren't very far off. That's still fucking impressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 7 to 11, that's a bigger deal in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what I found on Google, but whatever.
I usually go to SureDog. That's the more trusted site, I guess. But what else? We'll go with UFC's 35 and 11. It's a shit ton of fights that he's been in.
Yeah. He's been around for quite a while too. Yep. Do you know where his new camp is? I guess I could Google it, but
no, I think he might be in Colorado now.
Isn't he from there originally? I think.
I don't fucking know, dude.
But yeah, and I think we've talked about this before. He basically got kicked out of Jackson's in Albuquerque. They went for
they did him wrong, dude. But now he seems more focused and locked in. So wherever he is, he's doing it right.
Yeah. Weird. What a weird thing to do to somebody like Cowboy.
Right. He's been so great for the sport. And so like I would think that he's a great teammate, a great partner, a great whatever, you know. He seems like he's just an all around good dude.
Unless they were just sick of his shit. I'm sure he's fucking wild. But so is John.
Yeah, well, John's hella wild, and I bet Cowboy's calmed down a shit ton since then.
Oh yeah, he has a kid now.
Now that he's a dad, he's a completely different person. It seems like.
Yeah, I hope nothing but the best for that guy. I really hope we get him and Connor because I think Cowboy could have a chance, and that would skyrocket his career.
Yeah, that would be fantastic to see, and I cheered for Connor a lot on his come up. But I think I would have to cheer for Cowboy in that fight.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over the whole Connor thing.
Me too. I think when he beat Aldo in 13 seconds, I was like, this is the new god of the UFC. And then the whole Nate stuff, and that was just wild to watch. But now it's like, all you got to do is wrestle him.
I was still with him. I was still a Connor fan up until he threw the dolly through the bus window.
That's
when I decided fuck that guy. So that's what it is.
I can understand. I don't know what his intention was, whether it was just to start shit or was he actually trying to hurt people or whatever. But nonetheless, he hurt fighters and that caused them to have to pull out, and that's a paycheck.
Yeah, I don't think he intentionally tried to hurt them still. I think that it was just a scare tactic or just I'm a big bad motherfucker. You don't want to mess with me kind of thing. But shit went wrong and he had to own up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was caught on camera, so it's not like he had to own up and be honest. He was fucking caught red-handed.
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy.
Anyway, man, we've been bumping our gums for a while tonight.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Kind of flew by tonight. Well, I think we should probably try to get into some hockey news here. Your Bruins are in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe.
Yeah, they're actually up 1-0, believe it or not.
Damn.
It's been a while since Boston's had a parade, so it would be nice to have a championship celebration. I think we're due.
Yeah, it's been about a year or so.
Well, let's see. The Pats parade was in February.
Or not even a year. Yeah, so it's been 6 months.
Like 3 or 4 months. It's been a while. This title drought's getting serious. The Celtics let us down, so
yeah. You guys have one shot.
Kyrie's a fucking buster. He needs to get out of Boston.
Man, that guy should have stayed on LeBron's coattails. I think they could have had quite the team had they both stuck around in Cleveland.
Yeah, probably. But he's a buster. LeBron's a buster.
Ego, man. I think ego got to both of them. I think Kyrie left because I don't want to be under LeBron's shadow. Yeah, well, good luck, motherfucker. And then LeBron went and decided, I want to go make a legacy and start a team and build from the ground up and be the greatest Laker ever. And then he didn't make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, and now they don't have a coach. They don't have a president of basketball operations because Magic quit.
Magic said, fuck this noise.
All they have is LeBron. He's going to be the coach, player, general manager. He's going to do it all.
Do you think he'll coach once he's done playing?
I honestly don't think so. I say shit like that to kind of stir the pot in Sportszilla because I know there are a lot of LeBron lovers in there, Jared, and I just like to kind of get under their skin about it. I don't really follow it that much, but I don't think that he will. I think his next step after basketball is TV or movies or whatever.
I think he would be a great coach, but I don't know if he'll do it or not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If you can command a team like he can, and call it whatever you want, however he commands the team, he does command the team that he plays for. If you can do that, then you have a coach's mind. But he's probably too much in his own head to be just a measly coach, or something.
Sure.
Whatever.
I don't know. I hope he gets traded. That would crack me up. The Lakers fans had a protest outside of the arena today to demand that they trade LeBron. 17 people showed up.
What would you ask for if you were trading LeBron? Like, give me everything.
I don't know.
I want it all. I want your whole team, and you can have LeBron.
Shit. Give me your first round draft pick for the next 12 years.
Yeah, because the Lakers wanted Anthony Davis, and they wouldn't give up enough to get Anthony Davis.
And they were giving up like 6 players.
Yeah. So what the hell is LeBron going to be worth, like player-wise, trade-wise?
I don't know. I guess there's a reason he's always just been a free agent when he's left teams.
Yeah. It's weird to have a guy that's just a player, but he's in control of so much. I don't know if that's good. And I think that might be part of his problem.
I think he's toxic, but whatever. But yeah, Bruins, they're doing well. I hope they keep playing on and make it to the Stanley Cup. And
yeah, I don't give a shit about the Blues, but they're local, and they made it to the Western Conference Finals, which is pretty interesting.
It'd be cool to see Boston and St. Louis in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't see how the Blues have made it this far. They don't have super notable players, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, play the smart way and get hot at the right time, and you can skate around with Lord Stanley's Cup.
They beat the Stars in a Game 7, so that was pretty wild. I didn't watch it, but Game 7s are intense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Bruins won against Toronto on a Game 7.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks to Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's a huge Maple Leafs fan, and apparently he's got the same curse that Drake does.
Sounds about right.
So when he goes to games, they lose. So hell yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of shit to talk about. I'm sure you're running out of shit to talk about too.
Yep, sure enough.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Thanks to Sportszilla for kind of pushing us out there and helping us get some new listeners and new followers. Make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button so that you can get updated every time we go live and every time a new episode is available.
Yeah, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, we do Game of Thrones episodes on Mondays. So
we've got 2 or 3 of those left. So
yeah,
we'll probably do a couple bonus episodes with other, Game of Thrones content, just because I think a lot of people are going to be talking about this for a while.
Sure.
So yeah, if you're into Game of Thrones, check us out on Monday nights at 7:00 on the same YouTube channel. Just go ahead and hit subscribe and it'll tell you when we're going live. Thanks for listening. See ya.